Glycolysis overview. Now all the enzymes of the glycolysis are found in the cytosol. Now there are certain trypanosomes that carry out the first 7 reactions of the glycolysis in an organized cytoplasmic organelles known as glycosomes. Now there are 3 glycolytic reactions which are irreversible. Now these 3 glycolytic reactions which are irreversible are catalyzed by hexokinase, then phosphofructokinase, and then pyruvate kinase. Okay, the reaction catalyzed by these 3 enzymes are irreversible. Now the breakdown of this 6-carbon glucose into 2 molecules of 3-carbon pyruvate occurs in 10 steps. Okay, 10 steps are required to break down your 6-carbon glucose molecule into 2 molecules of pyruvate which are made up of 3 carbons. Now out of these 10 steps, the first 5 steps constitute to preparatory phase. Now in preparatory phase, the energy is consumed. And why energy is consumed? Because glucose is phosphorylated twice. And when glucose is phosphorylated twice, it is converted into FBP, that is fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Now for both of these phosphorylations, ATP is acting as the phosphoryl group donor. Okay, the glucose is phosphorylated twice, right? So in both the reactions, ATP is acting as the phosphoryl group donor. That is, the fructose 1,6-bisphosphate has 2 phosphate group in it, right? So both of the phosphate group came from 2 molecules of ATP. Now this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate then split and there is formation of 2 3-carbon molecules. Okay, there is formation of 2 3-carbon molecules because the fructose 1,6-bisphosphate splits. Now out of, there are 2 3-carbon molecules, right? One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and the other is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And when this dihydroxyacetone phosphate is produced, it is immediately converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So by breaking your fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, you produce 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. After that, these 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are converted into pyruvate in a 5-step process which is known as payoff phase. Okay, so by breakdown of this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, you get 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and then you take those 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, you convert it into 2 molecules of pyruvate, and this happens in a 5-step process which is known as payoff phase. Now this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is oxidized with the help of NAD+. So NAD+ oxidizes glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and in the process NAD+ gets converted into NADH because NAD+ act as an electron acceptor, and simultaneously inorganic phosphate is incorporated. So glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is oxidized and then inorganic phosphate is simultaneously incorporated as well, and because of this a high energy molecule known as 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is produced. So NAD+ accepts an electron from glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and that is the reason why glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate becomes oxidized. And in this oxidized glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, there is incorporation of inorganic phosphate, and because of this a high energy 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is produced. Now this high energy phosphate present at the carbon 1 is donated to ADP, and because of this there is ATP formation. Okay, Now this molecule which is form 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, at carbon 1 of this molecule there is a high energy phosphate. Okay, that high energy phosphate is then donated to ADP, and because of that there is ATP formation. Now this ATP formation, okay, is known as substrate level phosphorylation. And why it is known as substrate level phosphorylation? Because ADP phosphorylation is coupled with the exergonic breakdown of high energy bond. Okay, the high energy phosphate bond present at the carbon 1 of this 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is broken down, and that is causing the ADP phosphorylation, which is resulting in the ATP formation. Okay, and that is the reason why this ATP formation in this case is referred to as substrate level phosphorylation. The energy yield of one molecule of glucose in the glycolysis is 2 ATP and 2 NADH. Okay, by breakdown of the glucose molecule in glycolysis, you get 2 ATP and 2 NADH. Now, in the presence of oxygen, one NADH molecule can be reoxidized to produce 2.5 ATP. Okay, when there is reoxidation of one NADH, there is formation of 2.5 ATP. It means like if two molecules of NADH are reoxidized, then 5 ATP will be produced. Not exactly 2.5 ATP is produced. That is. Now hence, glycolysis of in the presence of oxygen, which is referred to as aerobic glycolysis, yields 7 ATP from one glucose molecule. And out of this 7 ATPs, 5 ATPs are generated by the reoxidation of 2 NADH molecule, as one NADH is giving 2.5 ATP, 2 NADH will give 5 ATP, and the 2 ATPs, the 7 ATPs, 5 ATPs are coming from the NADH, and the 2 ATPs are coming from the substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, so during aerobic glycolysis of one glucose molecule, 7 ATPs are produced. That's the point. Now, glycolysis in the absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic glycolysis, yields 2 ATP molecules, okay, only, and that is because of substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, so in anaerobic glycolysis, the 2 ATP molecules which are generated, that are generated because of substrate level phosphorylation. So that's the difference between aerobic and anaerobic glycolysis. Aerobic glycolysis happens in the presence of oxygen, and because of that 7 ATPs are generated. But during anaerobic glycolysis there is no oxygen, so the NADH can be reoxidized, and because of NADH there is no formation of ATP here, and that is the reason why the yield of the ATP molecules in case of anaerobic glycolysis is 2 ATPs.